So today I'm talking about how I started my career in journalism, why I am not in the mainstream media right now, and how you can start your own career as a journalist. So I will get right into it. I was brought up in the village. I was brought up in Matimbei. Most people know where I was brought up. So growing up, we didn't have a TV. So I didn't do a lot of TV watching. But in high school, we bought a TV. But in high school, when you close school, you have tuition. So you don't even have time to watch TV. However, we had a journalism club in high school. And I remember every Friday, we used to read news kwa parade. And that actually gave me a bit of confidence. So after high school, I started watching news. I used to watch Akina Rita Tinina. I watched Julie Gishuru, Swalem Doe, So it started really getting into me. So when it came to choosing careers, I decided I wanted to be a journalist. My father, on the other end, wanted me to be a sign language interpreter. He wanted me to do sign language. I remember him telling me, sasa wewe unataka kuonekana kwa TV tu ukisoma news na uko njaa hapo hauna kitu kwa tumbo. Yeah, and I remember I fought for it. I was telling him mimi nataka kufanya journalism. I actually really wanted to be a reporter, not even a news anchor. My mom was very supportive, so I decided to go to college to do journalism. I went and I did my degree. So in between my degree, I started doing jobs. I started doing activations kwa supermarkets. I was also nilikuwa nafanya kazi ya acting. I started going for auditions. So I would go to Kenya National Theatre kwa notice board naangalia auditions ziko wapi, and then I would go and try out roles. Nikafanya a bit of some adverts hapa na pale, and then I started doing activations kwa supermarkets za Harpic, za Kiwi, za nini. Na tumevaa tu dresses tunakwambia sasa jaribu hii leo, I did that as well. And then I started doing stage plays. I started doing stage plays for Heartstrings Entertainment. I then started doing stage plays for Kikuyu shows, Kikuyu plays in theater. I started doing for Fanaka Arts. By then I was around 23, around there, for Fanaka Arts. I was still in school, by the way. I was still in Kemu doing my degree in journalism. So nikaanza kufanya Fanaka, nikaanza kufanya Kenya, hizi plays tu za Kikuyu, comedy plays, blah blah blah. So while at it, I met someone mwenye aliniambia anaweza fanya voiceovers. Actually, I started doing voiceovers when I was in theater, because watu wenye walikuwa natafuta watu wa kufanya voiceovers za Kikuyu walikuwa nakuja theater because they know they can act some of those voices. So I started doing voiceovers for guys called Sam Juguna. Zile za radio, za classifieds. Hey, mama nani? Hey, leta hiyo. And I think during voiceovers is when I was able to polish my voice. Because voiceovers, people cannot see you. So with your voice, you have to communicate your feelings, the atmosphere. Is it sunny? Is it rainy? Are you married? What's going on? Is it a happy mood? Is it a sad mood? So I started doing the voiceovers there. Then in between there, I heard that Kameme Radio was looking for voiceover artists. I went, I spoke to the guy, I spoke to Midhamo wa Karaoke. I spoke to him, nikafanya demo, I did a demo, and then he liked my voice, they did, but Kikuyu yangu ilikuwa mbaya kabisa. I used to speak the normal Kikuyu, but I could not read well, I could not write, those apostrophes. Kikuyu is really hard to write, you guys, and to read is not, if you think it's easy, try reading the Kikuyu Bible. Yeah, so I polished my Kikuyu a bit at Kameme Radio, and then I started now doing voiceovers for air. I did them, I started loving them, I did them. They were not as many and the money was not as good, but it gave me a lot of experience in terms of how to use my voice. And also, because it's a media house and I was doing journalism in school, it gave me a lot of exposure in terms of what goes on in a media house, what journalists journalists do, what I really need to have as a journalist, the qualities, how to carry myself. I would listen to most of those presenters even present news hapo. Unaona wakiprepare scripts, and then the same scripts wanaenda wanazisoma kwa radio. Nilikuwa na beba hizo scripts, I come with them at home na prepare kabisa. That was Kikuyu. I was not very good, but with time I rehearsed ikakuwa poa kabisa. So and then I was still doing theater, bado na act, bado nafanya voiceovers, because voiceovers si job ya 8 to 5. You only do voiceovers when they come. So today there might be 2, tomorrow it's 1, the other day there is no voiceover, so you just sit and chill. So and then I was still doing stage plays. So and then I was called for an audition for a Kikuyu cooking show in an upcoming something. They didn't even tell us what it was. So I nikaenda nika audition Kikuyu and nika audition for cooking show. Kumbe cooking show ilikuwa ya Inoro TV. So I auditioned for cooking show, ikakuwa poa sana. And I felt, and I think I did a good job for your cooking show. So later on, the lady who was helping us with the auditions, who was in charge of the auditions, akatuitisha our photos. So me, I had very nice professional photos, because you remember I told you I used to do adverts. And when you go for auditions, you have to have professional photos. So I sent her my professional photos, looking very good in official outfit, looking very good in official outfit, in casual wear, looking confident, my hair looking good. I looked really good. Hizo picha ndio ziliniuza kwa news at Inoro, you guys. So and then she called and said, the people for the cooking audition want you to try news. I was like, news? Yes, it's a new channel coming up, na ni ya Kikuyu, so they want you to try auditioning for news. So I went for an audition now for news. When I went for an audition for news, I met Ken Wakuraya. Ken Wakuraya tulikuwa nafanya shows na yeye theater, but he was busy with biashara wake, so he was not as active in theater. So I met him again kwa audition ya Inoro. So the audition went very well, and I was picked because I remember I had practiced my Kikuyu at Kameme and at the Kikuyu stage plays, you remember? And I had also worked on my voice and on my diction. So when we started, I was so green. I had not done live TV, and I had not done news. So it was the first time I was starting to do news. I had read these things in school, but let me tell you, reading in theory and doing it is actually something totally different. I was given a good opportunity because I was given a chance to practice, to be better. I was taken through a lot of training. Eventually, I became better. I started picking. And 5 years later, actually, this is the sixth year, here I am. So, I left, like, it's been 3 months, you guys. Everybody's like, please go back. It's just been 3 months. I'm taking some time off to work on my very personal projects that I feel I cannot do that when I'm in mainstream media, that need a lot of privacy and all that. Also, I have a lot of businesses I'm doing. I'm working on some other things. I'm back to school with psychology and such things, doing psychology. So there's a lot going on. I will go back eventually, but for now I'm taking time to myself. I've received a lot of calls here and there to continue doing what I was doing, and even to other media houses, but I'm not ready yet. I'm still taking some time to myself. So this is for people who wants to be journalists, people who've written to me saying, I want to be a journalist. I want to start practicing as a journalist. I have done a career in journalism in school. Muthoni, can you mentor me? How do I go about it? What works? What does not work? What I can tell you is, if you've not gone to school, it's good to enroll for journalism. However, I want you to start carrying yourself as a journalist early on. It took me a bit longer when I started working for mainstream media to sink into being a journalist, because what I had only was what I had learned in school, but you can practice even when you're not employed. For some people, we really wait for mainstream media. You want to get that anchoring job, you want to be a senior reporter, but it has to start from somewhere. So if you want to start practicing, or you want to be a journalist, you have first of all to carry yourself as a journalist. Your social media platforms should read you're a journalist, and the post should also show you have interest in being a journalist. For some of us, tumeifanya for a while, so a post might not really, but if you're starting, you really have to present yourself as a journalist. You cannot be your huku in my DM telling me to mentor you to be a journalist, and at the same time you're calling me names on my posts. So present yourself as a journalist. Your description, your bio on your social media pages should read you're a journalist or you're practicing journalism. When I look at your bio, at your social media pages, I need to see you have depth. I need to see you are informed. I need to see you are a journalist, truly. You also need to read a lot. You also need to be in the know. You also need to have information at your fingertips like this. You have to start practicing early. That's what I mean. You also don't have to get a job at a major media house or mainstream media as a news anchor, as those things, to be a journalist. You can start on YouTube. You can start on TikTok. You can start on the different social media pages. A lot of journalists and a lot of senior anchors have been absorbed and discovered when they're doing their own things on social media pages related to journalism. You can use the different social media platforms to practice journalism, to report, to write, to do those things. You also cannot be a journalist if you do not write. Journalists are writers. You're going to have to write stories. You're going to have to write reports unless you want to do photography, journalism. So practice writing, be informed, read a lot, carry yourself as a journalist, introduce yourself as a journalist. Also, sometimes we just want to sit around and say there are no jobs. However, we have a lot of openings. We just want to look at the four news main stations or mainstream media, but there are a lot of opportunities. For example, we are coming to the campaign season, and most politicians are looking for PR teams, for communication teams, for people to be updating their social media, for people to tell stories of developments probably they've done in their counties or in their wards. Those are employment opportunities. Go to your politician's office, go to your MCA, go to your to their websites, go to their pages, look for those jobs. You don't have to read news on national TV to be a journalist. To feel like you're practicing journalism. Practice anywhere. Most of these companies look for PR people, look for people to be updating their social media platforms, to feed them with information even about the competition, because also journalism is huge. It's not just, it also touches on PR and advertising. Don't just sit there. Do something as you wait. Don't just cry there are no jobs. You can create jobs yourself. You can start vlogging. Like I remember even before I joined the media, I had a blog. It was called Pauline something. Pauline is my baptism name, and ilikuwa ya WordPress. I used to write about things I like, about dressing, about such things. Start a YouTube channel. One of these days I'll do an episode on how to start a YouTube channel. It's so affordable, you guys. You just need your content and your confidence, nothing else. If you are an aspiring journalist, it's a great career. It is wonderful. When I did some reporting and there's some human interest stories I did that were really fulfilling, that made me really feel worthy as a journalist. Also, even standing in front of people and people giving you their trust to even bring news to you, to even present what's happening to you. That credibility, that believability is amazing. It works wonders, and every journalist wants that. Talk to business owners, talk to politicians. Everybody's looking for PR teams, for communication team. You know what I mean? There are a lot of people who want documentaries about their lives. People are also writing bios about their lives, books about their lives. Talk to even some of these influential people. Talk to them about doing a documentary about their lives, about people who've not written books about their bio, how you can help them do that. So that was all for today. Because I've received a lot of questions about this, and I decided to do an episode about it. As much as I talk about here in my channel, I talk about mostly emotional and mental wellness. I really had to do that for people who want to be journalists. Not forgetting, continue applying for jobs, continue sending your CVs. As much as the time of COVID, continue sending for CVs, continue sending out your CVs, continue applying for internships, continue talking to people. But the main thing I wanted to say today, you don't have to be on mainstream media to be a practicing journalist. So you can do it wherever you are. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel. I would really love it if you subscribed so we can share some of this information. So if you know So if you have a child who wants to be a journalist, you know, someone who wants to practice journalism, you want to be a journalist yourself, please recommend this to other people. So many people ask me, kwa nini ufanyi na Kikuyu? Because I want to reach a bigger audience, because you cannot only be one thing. I can be a lot of things. I can speak in Kikuyu, English, and Swahili. It's totally okay. So thank you so much for watching. My name is Muthoni Mukiri. Have a great afternoon.